Costa Rica was the place that taught me the art of being present and valuing your relationships, as well as taking care of the environment. I will bring you along on my study abroad trip to Costa Rica. This is the story of how Costa Rica changed my life. It started when a young girl visited the country where the majority of the people reside, the Hmong people. My parents had brought along me and my other triplets to see Northern Missionary trip. But ever since I visited the place where the Hmong people were, I knew then and there that when I grew up, I wanted to travel. In starting my first semester at Donnelly College in Kansas City, it was finally time. I joined my first study abroad program to get the education I knew I couldn't get in a traditional classroom. But before anything, there was still a party I had to attend. So it's 7:50, I leave at 6 a.m. I haven't even started packing. My church is actually holding like a New Year's countdown, so I also have to attend because my sister promised that if I attend, she will help me pack. Long story short, she did not promise, but it was such a blast. And trigger warning, it gets competitive. So really shy, guys. These are my travel mates: Sarah, Ades, Raphael, and Suhei, who's not looking. It was just 3 hours into 2023, and we are at the airport about to board to Florida. And soon, we'll be in San Jose, Costa Rica. We're about to land. Flight attendants prepared for landing. We are here. As soon as I saw this.
No, but look.
What?
Over there, the volcano and the ocean. Do you see?
Whoa! The program starts on January 2nd, and I just couldn't wait for it to happen. Before coming to Costa Rica, there was a series of Zoom lectures to inform us about the place. What stuck out to me during the Zooms was the culture of Costa Rica. There's a famous saying called Tico time. Costa Ricans take a long time to show up. Whether that's for events, plans, or work, they never stress about time. Community, nature, and mindfulness. I came to learn the values of Costa Rica, to escape America for a bit, and be a part of this pure life they preach. Surprisingly, on the night of New Year's, I got to experience a glimpse of that culture. So, there's literally a party next door. We're gonna try to see if we can crash.
You hear the music?
Yes, we hear it.
Music calls us.
Music calls us. There's no way we're coming in. Oh my God. To my surprise, we didn't even have to sneak in. They even aggressively pressured us to enter. As we walked through a series of what feels like tunnels, we finally reached the core of the party. It was at the back of the house. Apparently, they were celebrating New Year's. The music was theirs and produced by them. The music was very loud. I could not even hear my neighbor. And finally, we were invited to the dance floor. Go in? Guys, we got a noise complaint. Our first night, we stay in a hostel. Something about traveling together just makes you grow closer to one another. The next morning, I was not the same. January 2nd, 2023 at 6:43 a.m. The birds chirping in the morning was something I have not heard in a long time, and it surprisingly brought me a long-needed smile. I think it's the absence of spring and summer in Kansas that made me long for that. Was I slowly learning how to be present? To enjoy the simple things? And can I take this back with me?
It's official. We're going to our hotel.
Yes, we're heading to the hotel.
Oh, vieras que estoy sumamente.
Look at this freaking tree. This is my room. Oh, wow. This is so freaking nice. Oh my gosh, shut up. Yo, look at this view. Shut up. Oh, there's the gym. I was mesmerized by the mountains of Costa Rica. Their clouds were something I've never seen before. The part of Costa Rica where things weren't modernized always surprised me. I wasn't quite surprised by the city area of Costa Rica. It just reminded me of the States. But I was looking for something new, and I definitely found it where the city couldn't provide it. One day I want to be surrounded by mountains. This idea of a simple life filled with jungle is what gravitated me towards my favorite speaker on the trip. The one, say your name.
Keishua.
Okay. Keishua is this fascinating wild man. He is a native Bribri, an indigenous group that lives in the eastern part of Costa Rica. He currently runs an indigenous iguana preserve that we visited. Kiss it.
Kiss it the prince.
You gotta treat, chill, smile, happy.
Wait and think about the picture afterwards that you're going to show.
Squeeze it, scratch it, you can smell it, you can taste it if you want. It's medicine. It will not have the strongest psychedelic effect.
Are you going to eat it?
Can I eat it? You ate it?
It's super bitter. Oh my god.
Paula!
Smell.
Wow. It looks like veins are around it.
When you see a beautiful color like that, don't eat
poison.
it. Don't eat it. The old school will be always the new school. So that's why I love the jungle. Because the jungle is the most ancient forest we have.
And Keishua had this intensity, passion, and seriousness in his eyes about the work he studies. His profound wisdom about nature was a product of his deep appreciation for Mother Earth and all that she has to offer.
The green iguana. Why we have the iguana farm here? Let's talk about 100 years ago when the bananas companies arrived here and all Latin American countries.
Through Keishua, we learned that in the past, many enterprises enter Costa Rica and destroy their jungle for tropical fruits like bananas and pineapple.
To cut hundreds and hundreds of jungle, iguanas are mini dinosaurs. They need proper jungle.
We lost a lot of wildlife because of these big corporations. A lot of our indigenous creatures are disappearing, and we are all connected. The loss of one species will affect the growth of another. This loss is due to deforestation for agriculture, to meet the demands of humanity, or primarily the West. Some of these creatures don't have a habitat to live in, or a place to call home anymore. Plus, historical forests are stronger carbon sinks. They keep carbon from entering the atmosphere. If there's one thing I learned from Keishua, it is to trust, love, and protect nature. Nature gives us everything for free. The least we can do is appreciate and nurture it.
Message I say is like, live in the jungle, don't let it die.
Believe in the jungle, don't let it die. I love that. Tatiana, our tour guide, said something that will stick with me for the rest of my life. She said that even if we came back to Costa Rica, it would never be the same as it was the first time. The energy, location, and people will all be different. So enjoy every present moment, as if it's the last time you'll experience anything like it. only thing we can control is the present moment. Worrying about what we can't control would not make things better. In Costa Rica, I learned to stop thinking and just do it. Learn it through experiencing it. Our education does not exist in a traditional classroom. We learn more when we immerse ourselves into the real world.
I'm like looking very
Sadie, where are we?
I don't know. We're at a park.
We're at a park,
With a beach in it.
Yeah. Okay, wait, but where are we though?
Manuel Antonio.
At the protective beach in Costa Rica was when I finally understood what it felt like to be present. Instead of letting the past and future intrude my present thoughts, I noticed the simple things. As I took a good look at everyone on the beach, I realized how close we've all become. Close and comfortable enough to share a glimpse of our lives with each other. I see Sadie lying down on her towel, taking a stick to draw and create mountains on the sand, and Jane fighting against the waves with the coolest sunglasses. Everyone is all in their own world, comfortable with any silence that comes their way. There is no need to make conversations. We are now comfortable with each other's presence. We sit and stare at the protective beach of Costa Rica, and it is only until time passes and this image becomes a memory that we so long wish to go back and experience it. The past existed for lessons to be learned and memories to be cherished. The future will continue to exist for hope and opportunity to fill our hearts. But the present moment is the only place we can control and the only place we can ever breathe and live. So we must live now because we will never know when we will take our last breath.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Ooh.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Ooh.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Who wants to say some words?
In my experience, going on a study abroad trip with people I barely know, it was like starting life over again and making friends from the start. How common is it to just stick with what we know, to stick with that one identity our surroundings have decided for us since the beginning, stick with the people we've been friends with our entire lives. Research studies prove that talking and interacting with strangers make us happier. If we never step out of our comfort zone, we will never grow. We will always remain the same, with the same community around us who will never show us a different side of our own character. Life is always full of surprises, and there are strangers you meet that will tell you everything you've been needing to hear.
Oh my god.
Before coming to Costa Rica, I was still mourning the death of my grandmother who had recently passed. When my grandmother passed, I finally understood what grief felt like. I will miss her for the rest of my life, and I will forever regret not spending enough time with her, and especially not being in her presence when she took her last breath. But I wouldn't trade what I experienced for anything else. The way my grandmother passed was exactly what I needed to learn, that the only important thing in life is our relationships. Our community and time is so precious. Time is too short. In life, we should search for the people who understand our soul and spend as much time with them as possible. A stranger I barely knew made me cry from the words she spoke. Speaking to her, I finally got closer from my grandmother's passing. How busy are we that we don't even have the time to sit down and have a meaningful conversation? We are so afraid to begin that one conversation that could change our lives forever. But we must get out of our comfort zone, having the courage to start the conversation first. Words are powerful. Words can change your life. You may never know where it leads. It might bring you to tears. It might give you hope and encouragement. You might even be rejected, or you might be understood beyond comprehension. It takes courage to be yourself and embrace rejection. If you gain people from who you're not, you lose them with who you are. Those who reject you for who you are, they are already doing you a favor for allowing space for the ones who understand you to enter your life. And on this trip, every single person have gifted one another with their own character. I got to experience all kinds of characters. I get to be the main character of my own life, but the people I come across have become influential on my own identity and paradigm. And as cliche as it sounds, this community changed my life. The lessons I learned during the study abroad may seem independent, existing in their own individual realm. However, that is not the case. Everything is connected. An ecosystem is filled with biodiversity that depends on each other. They must interact in order for the ecosystem to function. Without nature that produces the necessary resources for humans to thrive, we would not have a community. If humans live in a state of constant lack and survival, there is no time to invest in communities. There would also be no room for mindfulness and peace to do its work. Plus, it is better to practice mindfulness in nature. It is the place in which the art of mindfulness really blossoms. This is why communities retreat to the wilderness to step away from the modern world that is destroying our mental health. The hustle culture and American dream overwhelmed the majority population in America and built this constant state of pressure. This pressure to mass achieve. This could be the recipe for disaster, an unfulfilled life. To achieve and keep achieving, another word for staying in the state of lack. What is the point of success if there is no one to celebrate it with? What is the point of pride and joy if there's no one to share it with? What is the point of living if there are no grounds for it? We must take care of our planet to make sure that many years ahead, it is habitable for us to live in. If we all die because of a massive heat wave, it might all be too late. We need a healthy natural environment in order to have community and mindfulness. Through this study abroad, I realized that maybe I no longer wanted the city life, the big, powerful careers. Living in America for the majority of my life, I had adopted their culture of overconsumption, overthinking, and overworking. But maybe this pure life was all I needed to be reminded of. Because truly, as long as I am grateful and content, nurturing nature, building my relationships, and spending time with the people who understand me, not letting the past or future invade my peace, I will be happy. Even though this program only lasted for 14 days, the lessons I learned will be brought back to my motherland and kept in my heart for the rest of my life.